Hello everyone, I'm Virginia, 15 years old. What are you willing to do for a dream? Work hard or seek help from mythical forces? Watch the story to the end and learn how the pursuit of a dream brought me to the bottom of the wishing well. I had a dream, and my dream had a name, Roddy. Roddy is my boyfriend. Well, I've been in love with him since junior school, and he sometimes says hi to me. It's much better than if he didn't tell me anything at all. But you know, it's very bitter and hurtful when your love doesn't notice you. But I decided that this year everything will definitely change. Why is this exactly? First of all, I must get lucky at least someday. Second, I read a horoscope on a website. Don't judge me. And, well, it confirmed what I wanted to do anyway. If luck itself tells me to go ahead, then this chance should not be missed. But where do I start? While I was thinking about it, there was a great news. A history teacher was taking students on a 2-day tour to the ruins of an old house on the site of a former mound. Someone famous lived there, and it is great and beautiful. I don't really like excursions, but Roddy loves them very much. He signed up right away, and I followed him. Do you like to go to historical places? I have never been interested in walking through some dusty, abandoned buildings. But what won't you do for love? I was preparing for that very day like for a real date. From the dress to the hairstyle, everything was on top. I came up with 10 different ways to start a conversation with Roddy. And what did I see when I got on the bus? The seat next to Roddy was taken by my friend Madeline. What was she doing here anyway? She didn't like these trips any more than I did. I could have been making eyes at my boyfriend, but instead, I was staring at fir trees outside my window for 5 hours. Very nice, thank you. We spent the whole day on the road, and in the evening, we checked in at the hotel. Madeline took us one room and literally dragged me there by hand to tell me with burning eyes that this was fate. She said she had decided to hit on the guy of her dreams on this tour, and since I was also here, she would definitely be lucky. This was just some horror. I thought I had Roddy on the hook, and suddenly I had a rival. And she was my best friend. Maybe Aquariuses also needed to strengthen their personal lives this year. One thing was for sure, I wasn't going to give up. The next day, we went on a tour. The teacher talked about the strange house and the writer who lived in it, but only a couple of nerds listened. The boys were fooling around, Madeline was hanging around Roddy's neck, and I was thinking how I could do so that I could hang around Roddy's neck instead of her. I didn't come to my senses until we were in the garden, where Mr. Asher told us about the wishing well. He said that there was a legend that if you went down to the bottom of it, then your wish would come true. This was just amazing! When would I get the chance again? But Mr. Asher didn't tell us where the well was. What was the logic? First to tell and seduce, and then to break our resistance? Boo him! In any case, we had free time after the tour. I could walk through the ruins and look at the interesting exhibits, but I was determined to go in search of the Well of Desires. But of course, I didn't find anything. Why was I always so unlucky? Nothing but rocks and bushes, no well. I was about to go and take a last breath over Roddy when I heard a voice. It was Madeline's voice. I was scared and ran to her. What if something happened? But it turned out to be a cry of joy. I wasn't the only one who came up with the brilliant idea of looking for a well. But Madeline, unlike me, was really lucky. She kissed me on both cheeks, told me that I was her good luck charm, and that she was going to go down and wish for great love with Roddy. My eyes flashed red with rage. I knew that this well was just a stupid legend, and no eternal love could come out of a wish, either for me or for Madeline. Still, I was ready to fight for the right to go down there, and more importantly, to keep Madeline out. What does jealousy do to people? I tried to stop her, I said it was stupid, that she would break her legs there, that Roddy was only interested in ruins, that he didn't care about girls. And Madeline kept arguing with me. But I love him. I love him too. And now what? Madeline was in a fury. The whole tour, she trusted me, and I made plans to steal her boyfriend. But hey, I had been in love with this guy longer than she had. So she was the one ruining my happiness, wasn't she? Word for word, I pushed her, she pushed me, I pushed harder. I pushed Madeline into the well. At the last moment, I held out my hand for her to grab, but she didn't have time. She went down like a bag of rocks. Have you ever felt guilty for something really bad? Very, very bad? Downright awful? I had just killed my best friend, and the guilt was huge. I screamed in horror and ran down the stairs. No, I didn't want Madeline to die. Damn Madeline, I'm sorry. Please, let you be alive. Let everything be alright. The ladder collapsed under my feet, and I had to jump down into the darkness. It wasn't high enough to hurt me, but where was Madeline? I started shouting her name louder and louder, and suddenly, someone attacked me. I screamed in horror, and Madeline burst out laughing, saying it served me right, fright for fright. At least she was clearly alive and relatively healthy. But she quickly stopped laughing when the remains of the ladder fell down almost on our heads as we jumped back and forth. How the hell would I get up now? I tried to climb on the rocks. It was useless. They crumbled under my hands and did not allow me to cling to them. Well, what if Madeline climbed? The same thing. Madeline might be lighter than me, but you had to be a gecko to stay on this rod. We were going to stay here forever. I had never been a crybaby, but I couldn't stand it. I didn't think it would turn out this way. It was all my fault if I hadn't pushed Madeline. And now we were going to die, together, at the bottom of the well. Why did I even go looking for it? Fool. We started calling for help, but no one came to us. Oh, what if everyone was still in the house, or went to the city? Madeline began to panic as well, and soon, we were one sobbing lump of despair. In my anger, I just started banging my fists on the walls. And suddenly, my hand fell away. Madeline lit it, and it turned out that in one corner, there was a small passage, which we did not notice, taking it for the shadow of the stairs. We had no choice, so we went. But where? It was terribly dark, and we were afraid that we would meet dead bodies on the way. What if this writer, or whoever he was, had a torture chamber in a dungeon? We didn't find a torture chamber, but we got lost. We went on and on and on. And again, we found ourselves in the well. And again we went, and everything around us did not change. At the end of our journey, my phone died, and we were completely without light, in complete darkness. I started begging the well. No, don't laugh, please. I was very scared, and I was looking for any way to escape. I asked the well to let us go, so that we would be all right. Was that too much to ask? And all of a sudden, Madeline suddenly grabbed me and turned sharply to the right. And I felt a rush of fresh air. Hell, Madeline was so good, I wouldn't have noticed. We ran as fast as we could, scraped our feet against the roughness of the rock, and then we saw a light at the end of the tunnel. Bang! We hit a locked door. Were we really going to stay here and die? How we screamed at that thought. And the door swung open. The security guard took us to the house and told us that it was a tourist attraction, a labyrinth in the underground. It just didn't work today. We crawled out to our friends, scared and happy. And at this very moment, we saw our classmate jumping on Roddy near the bus. We looked at each other and laughed nervously. Yes, we had found an adventure. And all for what? For a guy who was busy. In the meantime, subscribe to our channel, Put likes, reposts, and your stories. We are waiting for you very much. Bye-bye!